Hello, Oracles. What do Tesla stock investors have to look forward to in 2023? It's been a while since I've been outside to do one of these videos, and with how the stock has been trading lately, I figured a little breath of fresh air would be nice for all of us. So I'm taking you guys outside today. We're going to go over all the different things that we can potentially see coming in 2023, and I gotta tell you, pretty excited about it. I think we're going to get a very nice breath of fresh air next year, and we are going to be growing from there into 2024 exponentially. So the first thing we have to look forward to is the backbone of the business, which is EV production and deliveries. So our company is making 95% of its money right now, so we need to focus on that first and foremost. So when it comes to production and deliveries, we're looking at definitely a 50% increase year over year in production, and deliveries could potentially reach that as well, which is due to the end of the quarter wave that they are smoothing out at the moment. So based upon what we have seen from James Stevenson, that should probably take about 4 quarters or so to smooth out, depending on what new models they're coming out with. We know the Cybertruck and then the Robotaxi, so we should see that smoothing out over time. So what is happening now is it's not like it's immediate, so we don't have production and then immediately delivery right afterwards. It takes a minimum of 1 week for local deliveries to happen when it comes to production. So what Tesla had been doing in the past was they were really rushing at the end of every single quarter, spending a lot of money on logistics to be able to get those vehicles delivered as quickly as possible. For cost-saving purposes, they're just not going to be doing that anymore, especially with the volume of vehicles that they're looking at to produce. So they're smoothing that out, and they're just letting things naturally take its course, and deliveries are going to happen. Obviously, this is going to get easier as they build up more gigafactories, and logistics are not as big of an issue, and China isn't shipping to so many places in the world. So as Berlin ramps up, less vehicles will be getting shipped over to Europe. So this is going to happen naturally over time and smooth itself out. But next year, we are still going to see that 50% year-over-year growth. So when deliveries may be coming in lower than production this year, we may end up seeing that again in 2023, but still it is going to be massive growth. Right now, I'm looking at 2.3 million vehicles getting produced and 2.1 million vehicles getting delivered. And when it comes to logistics and smoothing out all of these delivery waves, we saw Farzad posting over on Twitter talking about how over in Shanghai, they are getting away from putting all the vehicles in parking lots. It is now going basically straight from the factory right onto trucks and carriers or right onto a ship to get delivered elsewhere as an export. So they're cutting out little things here and there, and they've already said many times that there's a lot of things that they can do to improve logistics and cut costs, and this is one of the major ones that they're going to do, and that will also end up speeding up a lot of the shipping times when it comes to the exports, so that this way that delivery wave will get smoothed out even faster. And now when it comes to new gigafactories, we're most likely going to be hearing about at least one new one by the end of this year. Next year, I can anticipate us hearing about at least 2 more new gigafactories coming as well. So when it comes to the ramping, we know that they're basically putting up at least 1 gigafactory a year, but I think Elon is really going to be focusing on putting up as many gigafactories now to be able to produce this many vehicles by the end of the decade. So if they can get them up, built, and ramped by 2025, at least for the majority of them, I think we'll be in great shape. So I think we're going to be hearing about at least 2 new gigafactories next year. Next, when we're looking at new vehicles coming, we are going to be seeing the Cybertruck, of course. I have a feeling we're going to see production beginning sometime in Q2 of next year, with volume production happening by the summer. So we'll be seeing at the beginning of Q3, we will have volume production of the Cybertruck coming. We're, of course, also going to have the semi-truck ramping. We're going to be hearing about the Roadster coming. The Roadster is going to be a high-margin vehicle, but low volume. And then we're going to probably get some information by the end of next year about the new compact car. And whether they call it a compact car or the lower-priced vehicle, whatever it is, this is what they discussed on the Q3 earnings call. They are working on this. And unlike the Cybertruck, where we had it announced in 2018, but we aren't going to be seeing it until 2023. Obviously, there were some things that came up along the way, like, a global pandemic. But I think what's going to end up happening when it comes to the compact cars, we're going to hear about it, and it's going to get released very soon afterwards, probably within months. But again, I don't think we hear about that until 2024. And we are also going to be seeing the unveiling of the Robotaxi in 2023. This is what is going to be coming out in 2024 in production. So obviously FSD getting solved by then is important. That I think will also be happening in 2023. Elon said there's a 100% chance of that happening. So it's just a matter of when is that going to happen. We've already seen some massive improvements when it comes to FSD now, and it is going to be going to wide release worldwide by the end of this year. So that means that they're going to get even more data coming in to be able to filter that out and make it improvements even faster over 2023, which means that they will have it solved by 2024 for the Robotaxi. Also in 2023, Elon has said we will see Optimus going into production. So whether that is actually going to be a volume production of any sort, we don't know. We obviously saw the prototype that was coming out at AI Day 2022, and it looked good. It was a good prototype. Bumble C was obviously more functional. So there's a long way to go to get to that point, and I'm clearly going to be seeing that these are going to be some Optimus robots that are going to be used in the factories to help with production there first. So Elon's saying that we're going to see them in homes in 3 to 5 years. We'll wait and see if that actually happens. But we could probably see production of at least a few of them coming by the end of 2023. So next on the list is going to be energy. So energy, we obviously saw a nice bump coming up in energy from Q2 to Q3 of this year. I think we're going to see a nice 2 to 3x when it comes to energy revenues next year. So this is going to be a big component going forward. Obviously, we know that the energy S-curve is most likely what's going to be bigger than the EV S-curve. And Elon on the Q3 earnings call mentioned how Tesla's valuation could be higher market cap than Apple and Saudi Aramco combined. So the energy side of their business would be what would make up the Saudi Aramco part of that Tesla market cap. So I think we are going to be seeing that growing significantly in 2023. So again, a 2 to 3x from where we are today. So I think we're looking at 8 to 12, maybe 10 to 15 billion dollars in energy revenue coming in 2023. And now when it comes to the financials, well, we are looking at probably 15 to 20, maybe even $25 billion in free cash flow next year. This is why they will be able to do a $5 to $10 billion buyback despite any economic conditions that we are having at the moment. So if we do get into a deeper recession, they are still anticipating having enough cash flow coming in to be able to do a $5 to $10 billion buyback. So this is huge going forward, and this is growing exponentially. This is not a linear growth, because as the production and deliveries grow exponentially, so does the free cash flow. And then as energy ramps up, even more free cash flow. FSD gets solved. That is all money that goes straight to the bottom line for more free cash flow. This is something a lot of people are not grasping because they're seeing it as a linear growth and not exponential. And when it comes to FSD, the more vehicles get produced, the more people are going to take on the FSD package. And again, if all that money is going straight to the bottom line and vehicle production and deliveries are growing exponentially, that means that the FSD revenue also grows exponentially. And yes, we have those buybacks coming. And those buybacks are not guaranteed, but it sounds like they are on the table and they are most likely going to be doing them next year. Now, the benefits of the buybacks and what they are going to end up doing for the stock is when the employee stock purchase plan goes through, there's stock dilution that goes out. We end up seeing more shares at the end of each quarter. So what the buybacks are going to do is clean up those shares. So we're each going to get a bigger piece of the pie at the end of the day. So our shares that we currently have will be worth more because there's less out there. Just a strict supply-demand type of situation. And then when we start looking at the stock price itself, we are looking at a 2.5 to 3x next year alone. So looking at Gary Black, who has a price target of $550, whenever you hear an analyst give out their price targets, it's usually a 12-month price target, not an end-of-the-year price target. Things are constantly rolling. There are things that are always happening. So they look out 12 months and say, what do we think the stock price is going to be worth 12 months from now? And so when it comes to Gary Black, he thinks it's going to be worth $550. My current price target for the end of 2023 is $692. So by this time next year, it'll probably be between $600 and $650, most likely. And again, that's a 12-month price target. A lot can change between now and then, but currently that is what my price target is. And also in 2023, on a macro level, I think we are going to finally see some of this darkness lift from us. We are going to get that breath of fresh air coming from the entire macro environment. We're going to be past midterm elections now. We're probably going to hopefully be done with the Ukraine and Russia war that's going on. We'll have any energy situations that are going on over in Europe resolved, or at least something that can help them get through the next winter alone. We are going to have a lot of different things that are lifting. The recession that we are probably going into, we will see the end of it coming. We will be able to see, hey, here is the light at the end of the tunnel. The Fed will most likely won't be raising interest rates much next year. We might actually get inclinations or some sort of information about the Fed making a U-turn, and that U-turn is always the signal of the next bull market. And so whether we actually get the bull market or not starting next year, I think we will at least be able to see when it will begin, and we can finally feel that relief and that hope that there is a better future ahead of us, because right now times are so dark, it's hard to see that. This is why I always use my 2025 goggles and I say, all right, I can see us getting through this. We've gone through the charts. I showed you guys on the live stream last night. We went through the charts and looked at how Apple traded during the housing crisis, when we had that financial crisis from 2007 2007 to 2009, the stock was all over the place. This is exactly what we're living through right now, but as we also saw, those were the times to invest in Apple because after that, it took off. And I personally think that Tesla is going to grow even more and even faster than Apple did coming out of all of this. And I think another part of what's going to drive the stock even higher is the fact that a lot of institutions right now are not invested in equities. We're going to see a lot of money coming out of bonds and going back into equities next year. And what makes that even more significant for Tesla is the fact that before we ended up having institutions taking money out of equities, Tesla was not even investment grade. So now that they are investment grade, when institutional money comes back in, there's going to be even more institutions that are going to be investing into Tesla than there were before because they are investment grade. We will most likely be getting Moody's upgrades soon, and if it doesn't happen by the end of the year, it'll happen very early in 2023. And I don't think we're going to see big institutional money coming back in till probably Q2 or Q3 of next year. But again, as Alexandra had said on the live stream that we did with her, it's going to take about 12 months for the institutions to be coming back in and take over. It won't be like the S&P inclusion where everybody had to put all their money in all at once. Institutions are going to have time to be able to put money in now going forward. And so yes, while these times are tough right now for some of us to handle, I am looking at them in a very positive light about the fact that I can buy even more for less. And even if we dip further from where we are right now, I will take that as a bigger gift where I can buy even more for even less. Because I don't think these times are going to last for very long. And when we look back at it, we're going to wish that we added more now. Not financial advice, but that's exactly what I'm doing, and this is how I am looking at it. So this is your breath of fresh air looking at 2023 and the hope and the light that we are going to see when it comes to 2023 and what Tesla is going to bring for all of us. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What else do you guys see coming for Tesla in 2023? What did I miss? Is there anything else that is out there that you guys are looking forward to as well? Let me know in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate all of your support and feedback. If you have not subscribed, please do so down below. Sign yourself up for notifications. I am over on Twitter at OracleTim1. I share all the latest Tesla news, pertinent stock market information, and all of my daily trades. We do have a Discord chat. That link is down in the description. And if you'd like to support the channel any further, we do have a membership program and a Patreon. Those links are also in the description. Thank you so much. Have a great one.